I've made an executive decision there to ditch that shite copyright free song before it even starts. We'll get right into it. There's only so much of that cheap epidemic music shite you can listen to in one night. Well, hello and welcome in to this Tuesday's movie news. I am Jonathan C. Walsh. I am here to speak about the world of Hollywood, the world of movies, the world of Prey and Predator and Bullet Train, and a little bit of James Gunn flung in for good measure. No, I am not the son of Chewbacca Lumpiwaru, despite the fact I am covered head to toe in my Labrador's hairs. That is just, sadly, a sorrowful byproduct of me playing with my dog 2 minutes before I went live, and now he's eating treats out of a Kong. So you will hear him, you will most definitely see him on my body. That aside though, I'm going to get right into it. First topic of the show. I couldn't fit Rotten Tomatoes on the graphics bar, so I've had to put RT there. Just to be clear, that is Rotten Tomatoes, it's not Russia Today. We're not. We did have Vladimir Putin sex links in the chat last night. Everyone's getting a woman except from Vladimir. Not that kind of channel. Rotten Tomatoes. Movie news. Prey, which has released, I believe, on Hulu this week, has been getting rave reviews, not just from critics but from regular Joe audience members alike. A lot of people crying that my dog's licking me and sniffing me. What's happening? No more treats, my friend. No more treats, Harley. No more. You've had enough. A lot of people crying over it not getting a wide release in a theatre, that it has been released straight to the streaming service. A lot of voices doing the rounds regarding this movie, but I am also framing the discussion via this here. Rotten Tomatoes. Prey's Rotten Tomatoes score is way better than any other Predator movie. Now look, you could say, and we will get into it, I'll go into Rotten Tomatoes, you could say, wow, that is shocking, brand new information. It's a couple of days old in truth. It's a 1 day old. Stephen Colbert. Not that Stephen Colbert. You could say it's shocking, brand new information. Wow, this must mean this movie is fantastic. It's cosmic. Phantasmic. I'm doing it again. I am the Ringo Starr of Movie Burner Entertainment. I combine sayings and words to create new ones. I've done it again. Phantasmic. But in reality, man, the movie's probably very good. I've not seen it yet. I'm going to actually try and find a legal way of consuming the movie, because I've heard it is very, very good and I actually want to watch it. But in reality, the Predator franchise is an abomination against cinema. It's not very good. The first movie aside, it's a sliding sort of scale of car crash. You start off with a head-on, then there's a sort of T-bone collision, and then you've got my dog again is at the side of me. He's starting to wind me up here. And then it's like multi-car fucking pile-ups. That's the level of shitness we're talking about with Predator. So this movie being the highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes, it's kind of damning it with faint praise. It's like the best dressed man in Kazakhstan. Apologies to all people perhaps coming in from Kazakhstan and watching this. I don't know how you dress. Now my dog's under the table. He's really, really pushing his luck. This show may go to a be right back. He may be decanted out of this room in a couple of moments. As you can see, Prey is the newest movie in the Predator franchise. Incidentally, if you don't know what Prey is, it is a prequel. This fucking dog. It's a prequel to the Predator movies. It's set, I think, a couple hundred years into the past, and also one of these aliens comes down and it's a less technological human society it meets. But in many ways, as we've seen, as we've delved into our ancestral primates sort of relatives, they were in many ways better equipped than modern day man to deal with threats like this. They were more physically apt, better shape, just more brutal and raw and up for it than we are now. We're soft as shit now. We sit and watch Netflix and don't do much with our lives. But look, anyway, I digress. That's the sort of backdrop of this movie. It's the newest movie in the Predator franchise, but its Rotten Tomatoes score is way better than any other movie in the series. The prequel is currently only available streaming on Hulu. That's disappointing. There must be an alternative for us Plebingtons here in the United Kingdom. We do not have Hulu over here that I'm aware of. So hopefully that's something that gets addressed. Maybe we are getting a wide theatre release. I don't know. Maybe this is an American-centric problem. I actually have to search it up. But the Dan Trachtenberg directed Predator prequel is getting a lot of praise, reflected in its enthusiastic critique and audience reception on Rotten Tomatoes. Now I'm going to get into that just now. Rotten Tomatoes, we'll bring it up. Here is Prey. As you can see, 92% critical score, 81% audience score. It's usually the other way around with these kind of movies. The audience love it, the critics shit on it. It's doing really, really well, man. That's great scores across the divide there. The critics, the audience members alike. That usually means, and look, to be fair, you throw in the caveat of 194 reviews. That is a lot of fucking reviews, but I'm sure there's more to come. But it's a very well rated movie. You then compare and contrast that with the previous Predator movies. As you can see, Prey is in at number 1. The Predator, an abomination of a movie. This movie released to the backdrop of the director Shane Black casting his sexual offender friend in the movie. It was doomed before it even started, and it was a fucking terrible movie. Boyd Holbrook is not Arnold Schwarzenegger, sadly. He's an alright, serviceable actor, but he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. When you've got a sort of autistic, I want to say hard of hearing, potentially young character played by Jacob Tremblay stealing the show, you're in big fucking trouble. This is a Predator movie. A kid is not going toe to toe with a Predator. There was moments in it, I liked the lab moment, but it's a terrible fucking movie, let's be honest. Predators I have not seen, I will never watch, but even hits rated better than that. Nowhere near Prey. You're starting to see what I'm talking about here. Sliding sort of scale of shitness. Car crash scale, that's what I'm going to call it. This is like you're just driving along the highway, freeway, fucking motorway, whatever you want to call it, autobahn, and you're fine. You've got the wind, the window down, the sunroof open if you've got one. Even if you've not got hair, you're just letting the wind caress your skull. Like I haven't, I'll just let the wind caress my skull. There was a point when I had hair. This movie's doing well. This is the multi-car crash, the pile-up I was talking about. This is like significant loss of life, at least 14 people dead in a horror crash. That's what this is in the sliding scale of car crash. This is god awful. Actually, I take that back. That's maybe like a 5-car pile-up, maybe 1 death. This is the 15 people dead. Aliens versus Predator. Requiem. An aptly named movie. Requiem used for death, of course, isn't it? It's like a requiem. Sort of associated with death and despair. That movie died. It was a fucking bomb. I remember it coming out. Aliens versus Predator. Terrible fucking movie. You're seeing the sort of theme that's starting to appear here. Predator 2. Terrible fucking movie. Predator. Very, very good action movie. Aged quite a bit, but a very good action movie. Peak Arnie in there, doing his thing, guns out, huge guns, general holding, not just arms. Brilliant. Sort of one of a kind niche thing they've got in the movie with the blindness, or the not the blindness, but the sort of the vision, the strange vision. It can see at night. It can see all of these guys. They've not got a clue where it is. They're the prey, if you like. That was, for me, probably still the best Predator movie obviously the best Predator movie I've seen. I've not seen Prey yet. So big shoes to fill. And to be fair, it looks like Dan Trachtenberg and that cast right there have managed to fill those shoes. It looks as though they have. In terms of the critics anyway, you look at the actual audience score, they still rate Predator higher. It's in the same ballpark. And that impresses me quite a bit, I'm not going to lie, because I've spoken about this before. Hollywood, its lack of originality, it's absolute raging boner for, it's Ralph boner, if you like, for making sequels that no one asked for, no one ever needed, and they all ultimately bomb. This diminishing returns that we get from modern day movies, the modern day movie industry. There's been a couple that have shut that, obviously. Right off the top of my head, recent times Paddington's had sequels, it's done very well. Had one sequel, it's about to get another. Hope it's good, potentially perfect trilogy. There has been other franchises that have seemingly maybe not get artistically better, creatively better, but certainly in terms of box office, done very fucking well. Fast and Furious is one that springs to mind. But in the main, when you start doing sequels, certainly ones that traverse 40 years, not good. This seems to have obviously shut that trend, so I'm really, really, really intrigued by this movie now. Really intrigued to see what they have produced. The concept did sort of piqued my interest when I heard they were going back 200-300 years in the past. That's something different. That's thinking outside the box. That's doing something different with a franchise that's on its knees. You think of Terminator, one of these other franchises, action franchises that has taken place over 30-40 years. Well, 30 years, and they never seem to get away from the whole T2 Judgment Day remake. Every fucking movie is a rehash of T2. They can't get out of it. There's no originality. The franchise is dead. This is something different. Really, really, really cool concept. Just seeing how a different time, a different era of humanity could handle this sort of potential existential Armageddon situation with a hulking alien coming down, able to see. Well, maybe it couldn't see in the dark and couldn't see in like fucking X-ray vision back then. Maybe that has been an evolution. Lord knows, it was like mega 100 years in the past. But this is a space exploding civilization. You'd imagine very capable even then. Just an interesting concept, man, and something that I genuinely do believe did deserve to be released in the theatres, certainly in the US. This is a movie that would have easily have made $200-300 million minimum with the pop, with the word of mouth. It's not out of the realms of possibilities. This movie makes north of $450 million at the box office. You then release it on Hulu to the business that then does on Hulu, regardless of that theatre release. You're up big time in terms of money. You've made a profit on this movie. This interesting little concept. No one thought would work. Everyone probably wrote off. I'm just furiously checking to see what is happening with this movie here in the United Kingdom of Great Britain. And I want to find out just what is going on. It was announced to star on November 12th, Disney Plus D-Day. The movie was given blah 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 for a mid-2022 release on Hulu and Disney Plus. Perhaps this movie is releasing on Disney Plus then. Premiere sort of access, like what they did with Mulan, what they did with, fucking, there was another one that went out, they did the same thing. Is this releasing on Disney Plus? I don't know much about this movie in terms of release. I want to watch it, so I'm intrigued. Just get to the point, Nation World. I'm trying to do a fucking show here. Can you tell me where this movie is releasing? Disney Plus on the 5th of August it is out. It's on Disney Plus. I will be watching this movie. Looking forward to it. But it should have had a theatre release. It should have had a theatrical run. It's a brilliant concept. It's a really highly rated movie. Fans are really enjoying it. This is the kind of movie you need, man, at this time of the year. There's a slight dearth in releases. You've had the brilliant Black Phone and big Marvel releases out earlier in the year. There's a slight dip. You get this coming out, man. It sort of wets your juices to get into Black Panther later in the year. This absolutely should have had a theatrical release. I'm not entirely sure the rationale behind it. Perhaps it was a pandemic thing. They thought it worked for these movies, let's just put it out. Maybe they were thinking about Trolls, a world tour or some shit like that. But it's a shame it didn't get its release in the theatres. It's a shame the actors didn't get to see their big moment on the silver screen, potentially on IMAX. I'm sure they've seen it anyway on a big screen. But just great to see this interesting, different little concept of a classic action franchise is getting buzz. It's doing well. And it's the highest rated in the franchise now. Critical anyway. It still doesn't mean it's better than the original Predator from 1987 or whenever it was out. That's probably still better, let's be honest. But they done well, man, getting close to it. But look, I'm going to move on to another interesting action movie. Another one I need to see. I have been sitting watching press junkets today of this movie, of Aaron Taylor Johnson, of Brad Pitt. I want to see Brian Tyree Henry doing stuff with Radio 1, speaking, promoting this movie, laughing, having a great time with each other. Right off the bat, you can see the chemistry between these actors. You can tell they had an absolute ball. I'm just looking at this little mark outside of my nose and I'm wondering, is that a dirt mark? Is that my dog that's to blame for that? Turns out it fucking was, because I've just wiped it off. Absolute gadge balls, we like to say here, in the west of Scotland, primarily. But big opener at the box office. Huge $30.1 million premiere for the Brad Pitt, David Leitch directed movie. I had to think about that there. And Jeremy Dick's been speaking about this, and that's always a name I like to see, Jeremy Dick. Hello, Pav. Welcome in. Thank you very much for commenting. There's been people come in. There's been people left. Apart from Stephen saying welcome on in, no one's commented, so look, I appreciate you just coming in and dropping that hey. You can disappear and never say anything again. And you've gave me something to cling on to there, so thank you for that. I'm doing better than I thought I would today. I tell you, I have had an interesting day, incredibly warm in Scotland today. I've got a slight migraine headache and I'm chirpy. I'm actually feeling it. So I don't know what's going on there. It's a surprise, but a nice surprise nonetheless. As you can see here, this is coming in from MovieWeb. MovieWeb is a new publication. It's a combination of Screen Rant and MovieWeb, but look, I digress. Jeremy Dick has had this to say about the box office premiere of Bullet Train. The number one movie in America is the new Brad Pitt feature, Bullet Train, directed by David Leitch. The action comedy stars Pitt as an assassin. We know what it fucking is about. Everyone who has their finger on the pulse with movies knows what this movie's all about. You don't need to tell us, man. With an ensemble cast that includes Joey King, I'm hoping that I was right when I says, I've not got a fucking clue who's in this movie aside from Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brad Pitt. But I'm hoping I fucking get the names right. As you can see, Sandra Bullock's in. I didn't know she was in there. Hiroyuki Sanada's in there. The movie has opened to 30.1 million in the United States and Canada. Hello, man. I'd love to say I could read that and I could understand it. Sadly, I've not got a clue what you says there. But I will endeavour to Control-C and Control-V it into a translator and do my very best to reply to you. I presume you can't understand a word I'm fucking saying either. Hello. Welcome in. It's Korean. Fantastic. I love Korea, man. Always welcome. Anytime. Still enjoying a love experience with not Anyo, what's it called again? Soju the drink. Fucking love it. What a drink. Best spirit on the planet. So welcome in. Hello. I had a bad day too, having some stomach related issues lately. Oh, that's not good, man. I feel your pain. It wasn't so much stomach related in that it was full blown norovirus we had earlier in the year. It ripped through everyone that I know, and it was a horror show. I missed a big football game because of it. Literally the night before the game, the symptoms came on. It was a horror show, man. I don't know if you've ever experienced norovirus, Pav, but let me tell you, as someone who had straight from Wuhan coronavirus, it was fucking worse than coronavirus. Just constantly spewing every 5 minutes. God awful. Never want to experience it ever again. I echo Stephen's comments. Hope you get better soon, man. There's nothing worse when you have stomach issues. Certainly if you like your food like me. And I probably could be doing with stomach issues just now to lose a bit of weight. I'm getting chunky. As you can see, it's garnered more than 32 million from overseas as well. Ticket sales putting the film with a haul of more than 62 million. That is pretty fucking good, man. That is a pretty good box office take for a movie of this nature. It will not have had a huge budget. It's set in a train. There is a big cast there. It is an interesting concept. But I reckon probably, without looking it up, and I'm not going to look it up, $150 million budget. This movie's only out a couple of days, man. Maybe a week at a push. That's a good start. This movie could make a profit. No problem whatsoever. I sincerely hope it does. I'm going to do my best to make sure that happens. Because I'm going to go and watch it. Because I love Guy Ritchie. I love multi-perspective stories. I love it mixing with crime. I love the violence. I love the flying knives. I love the action, the choreography. I love David fucking Leitch. So I'm looking forward to this movie. I'm going to go and watch this movie on Saturday because I'm taking Saturday off from my work. So glad to see it's dominating the box office. I'm glad for Brad because I've took a real shining to Brad in recent years. He's a very cool guy. He ages with grace. He still has all of his hair. And he's just a fantastic speaker. An incredible, eloquent orator of the English language. And again, watching the junkets, the back and forth between the actors, just sounds to me like they had a whale of a time. And that will be transmitted onto the movie, I'm absolutely certain. Korea is awesome, man. I have to go to Korea. I really do want to go and try Seoul and places like that. I want to go and see what it's like. I just like the vibe of that country, man. It's lively. It's fucking cool, man. It's a cool place. And I want to, first and foremost, before I even go to maybe Korea, I want to try a Korean barbecue place, because we've got a few over here. And the food just looks dynamite. So mix that with some soju, and I'm going to be a happy guy. So, and the fact you can fry your own food off, you literally, you get involved in it. You can cook the food, you can have a drink. Fucking great, man. Brilliant, love it. And I love India as well, as you know, Pav, I've said this many times. India's fucking my ancestral home. I've got a great grandmother from there, from Tamil Nadu, potentially Sri Lanka. We don't actually know, we've not looked that deeply into it, but South India. Part of me hopes it's Chennai, because I just feel like the dogs on the beach, looking about it in Street View, it's my kind of place, Chennai. So it would warm my cockles to know, if that's even a phrase, that my great grandmother was from Chennai. But I love Indian food as well, man, believe me. I just love food in general. I'm a greedy bastard. Zazie Beetz though. Joker 2, next topic. Just rattling through them. I've got a little secret topic I'm going to speak about at the end as well. It's not long enough, in truth, to merit its own actual bar. I'm just not even going to put the work in for it, but it's an interesting little insight into a much beloved animated character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and just how they do scripting with that character. I'll get into it. Everything has its place. We'll do Zazie Beetz and Joker 2 first. That didn't sound right. We'll do Zazie Beetz. Pals, we've said I wanted this movie to do good. I am happy. Yeah, I mean, it's just this is what Leach is made for. He's made for those kind of movies. Slick operator, and actually Brad Pitt's stunt double, like 20 years ago. I didn't know that, but I found that out today watching the press junkets. Unfortunately for me, there are no morning shows available near me. I won't be able to watch it in theatres. The hostel I live in closes at 9 PM. That's a shame, man. But look, the beauty of modern day cinema now is that it does its stint and it's very quickly on demand. After that, it's not like the 6 months you had to wait back in my day. And I speak like I'm a 90-year-old man back in my day. But I did grow up in the 1990s. Kinda. Well, I did. There's no fucking doubt about it. I may misremember half of it, but I did grow up in the 1990s. Global Video. Blockbuster. You had to go and buy a fucking videotape to watch a movie. And it was like a year after it had been in the theatres. So, things have got better. They have. Don't listen to these people who hero worship the 1990s like it was some incredible point in history. I've been guilty of this myself. It was fucking shit. Let's be honest here, it was shit. Oh, there was no mobile phones. It was free. People didn't used to just look down at their hands all day long. Yeah, they fucking did. They read magazines. They read newspapers. They looked at their shoes. People were awkward in the 90s as well. They looked at Tamagotchis. That's what they did. It was just shitter versions of what we've got just now. Pavs says, oh wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. You are a brother. I'm indeed, man. 2%. It's not a lot, to be fair, but look, it's my great grandmother, and I will fucking grab it with full force and just go full on. As I said many times, I've got a brother from another mother from Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh. Used to regale me of India, of the street food, of his life growing up there, man. To be fair, he's not like some pauper, he's like a fairly well off middle class guy with a maid. But he regaled me of Hyderabad, so I've always had a love affair with India. I've always been interested in the country. It's just something about it, really fucking exotic. It's just the complete opposite of Scotland. Everyone in the world thinks Scotland's exotic, it's great. They come for more than 2 weeks they'll realise it is wet as fuck, it is windy, it is bitterly cold, and it is shit. So don't believe the hype. Zazie Beetz though defends Joker 2, and its divisive musical approach. I'm still in, I mean, I don't know what the actual phases of denial are, of grief are. I think there's like denial, and then you've got acceptance or something like grief, acceptance, and then something else. I'm still very much in denial with this one. I have not really been an advocate of Joker 2. Not really something I was wanting. I thought the first movie was very, very fucking good. There was people out there who also changed their tune with Joker when it started getting Oscar buzz. Turned on Todd Phillips. Turned on the movie in general. Says it was a remake of Martin Scorsese. Like we've never had that before. And it was shit. It was declared poor. It was a shite movie. I was never one of those people. I thought it was a really interesting social commentary on modern day society and how it really does, it leaves some people out in the cold. There's people who are not made for the modern world, who are shut, who are outcasted like lepers. And I just thought he explored that really well. Did he explore it as well as Taxi Driver? Probably not. Did he explore it as well as the Kings of Comedy or the King of Comedy? Probably not. But he still explored it, and it was necessary in the 21st century for people who are too lazy to go back and watch Scorsese movies from 40 years ago. And he explored it well. He explored it so well, I think it should have been a standalone movie. I was never fully on board for a sequel to this movie. And to be honest with you, Joaquin Phoenix isn't an actor who does sequels. He's never been known for doing sequels. So I thought the concept of a sequel with Joaquin Phoenix as Joker was dead in the water. But it turns out he's actually interested. There was an image of him reading the script. Todd Phillips wants to remake it. They've cast Lady Gaga. I think that's confirmed now. And it is going to be a musical. And I don't know how to feel about that. I ain't going to lie. I mean, there was moments of Joker that were musical. In their construction. Their construct. But it wasn't a musical, man. How do you take one of the most notorious cerebral DC villains and build a musical around about him? We're going to find out. And let's pray it's good. Because it's going to ruin Joker for a lot of people if it isn't. But Zazie Beetz is out full defensive mode and had this to say. Of course she's trying to get cast. I'll speak about that in a moment. She's trying to get recast in the movie. Actors need to make money and they're not going to cut their fucking nose off to spite their face. This is coming in from Screen Rant. While speaking with the Hollywood Reporter, I'm doing a dual monitor setup here. I look over here, you look at the tabs, I look through OBS to read. That's why I'm squinting, because there's a moonlight over there, a ring light, akin to what Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong seen when they stood in the moon for the first time. And I'm sure, I mean, they probably stood in the moon when the fucking sun was out of sight, but very, very bright. Coming in from Screen Rant, while speaking with the Hollywood Reporter to discuss Bullet Train, Zazie Beetz shared some thoughts on the in-development Joker. Gonna have to read this. Folie à deux. I briefly dabbled with French. I actually do quite like France as a country. Never was interested in learning Spanish. I was more of a German, Italian kind of guy. I dabble with French, but I cannot pronounce French. I just can't do it. That's probably butchered, but folie à deux. That's my best shot. And looking at this fucking double entendre, that's the way they speak, so it's got to be close. And looking at the film's musical approach, which has proven divisive, as some people might say, amongst audiences, Beetz defended the idea, praising Todd Phillips' creative approach to adapting the DC character. See what Beetz shared below. Well, I can, and I could have just read that, because it was unnecessary. I actually think it makes wonderful sense. Wow. I wasn't really surprised by that. I think you were the only person. Todd has always had a creative approach to the character. I love musicals, and I think of them as the characters of feeling and experiencing so much that they can only sing and dance about it, whether in sorrow or in joy. I'm partial to a good musical as well, Zazie, but it has its time and its place. I think of Seb, I think of whatever the Emma Stone character was in La La Land. That works. Moulin Rouge, that works. Les Miserables, I don't know how you fucking say it, I'm not French again. That works. Joker, we'll find out. And I can actually see that within myself as well, because singing and dancing is quite a cathartic experience for me. She's very well spoken. I like some of the words she's pulling out here. Cathartic's always a good one. I was going through a really, really difficult time at one point in my life. Don't we all? That's life. And I just started dancing and crying by myself. Well, that's one way to do it. And that was an expression that matched where I was at that moment. And so I can see Arthur, who's feeling and experiencing so much, dancing and singing about it. He's a Joker. So I think it makes sense to me. See, when you word it like that, you're actually probably right. He's the Joker. He's a bit of a Joker. He's a maverick. He's this eccentric character. And him dancing and singing probably isn't as out of a character as you would think it would be. Folie à dos. Is that how you say it? I don't know, man. Honestly. Yeah, that sounds weird, doesn't it? Joker. Folie à dos. I can't imagine Joker speaking French. He just doesn't seem like a very well wrote guy. He's cerebral and he's different in his thinking. He thinks out a beat with everybody else. That's kind of the whole point. He's ahead of the curve, but he's not a French speaker. But well, he doesn't have to be. But anyway, look, I digress, man. She's maybe right. Look, this may work. This may be interesting. It may take all of the good sort of musical moments that were probably standout moments. You think of them dancing down these stairs. That's one of the more memorable moments from Joker. Maybe the little shuffle he does after he kills Murray on the chat show. He does a little shuffle to the camera. These are the standout moments when the character kind of has an out of body moment. He leaves reality for a moment and starts doing crazy shit, and it seems to manifest in dancing. They are the best moments. Maybe they'll just harness that and put it on steroids and we'll get a full on musical experience. I'll tell you one thing though, Lady Gaga is definitely turned into a good actor. She is becoming more and more adept at it as time goes on. She's kind of showing up the likes of Dwayne Johnson, who's been trying his hand at it for over a decade and not really improving as quickly as Lady Gaga has over 5, 6, 7 years. Maybe not even that. So she's definitely an interesting one. She can certainly sing, so she's bringing her singing voice in. She's a performer, you can't deny her that. She can definitely perform on stage. She has big personality, big presence. She will hold her own. I can imagine her as Harley Quinn, and it's something I'm actually intrigued to see. It's just Joaquin, he's a worry for me. Joaquin is a worry. He's a fantastic actor. He does drama really well. He does dark human condition stuff really well. Is he a dancer? Is he a singer? I don't think so, man. That concerns me. You've got to think within your sandbox what you're doing. Does your leading man, who you've built a whole other movie around, is he capable of doing it? I'm fucking concerned. Look, I hope it works, man, I really do. But look, as I said, Zazie Beetz, it's no coincidence she's been coming out and praising the concept. She's literally edging to try and get into this movie. And look, to be fair, she was an interesting one, but she was the neighbour. And I presume Arthur's been flung in a mental asylum. And he's not had much interaction with his neighbour in the ensuing years between these movies. So he did have that obsession with her though. He was infatuated. That's maybe how you bring her in. Maybe she's aware of him now and there's maybe this twisted fucking relationship, I don't know. But she's certainly interested in coming back. And as you can see here, yeah, in my mind she lives because she never actively wronged Arthur. His victims in the film were generally people that pointedly hurt him. Even within the horror of his realisation around his own state of mind, he acknowledges that she's more of a bystander in his situation than an actor to his situation. So to me it made sense that she wouldn't be harmed by him because his harm was intentional towards certain people. And then society, what the fuck happened there? Society at large, but she also felt wrong by in a way. So in my mind she makes it out unscathed, at least physically. So she thinks that the character's made it out, and that enables her to come back into this movie. Look, Zazie Beetz is a brilliant actor. One of the standout things from Deadpool 2, I really enjoyed her. Can't remember what her character's name was, but I did enjoy it. It was the one with luck. Incredibly lucky character. Pretty sure it was anyway. She's youthful, she's well up for it, she's eloquent as you can see. Sure, she can dance and sing, so get her in that movie, man. The more connections we have from the first movie, the better. Time will tell whether it's good, man. I sincerely hope it is good. I'm rooting for it. I love Joaquin, and I thought Todd did a brilliant job with the first movie. So if they want to make a musical, more the power to them. I had ASPD, antisocial personality disorder. I had to do therapy for 2 years. I tell you, there was no singing or dancing, or laughing hysterically involved. It was just quiet and painful. I can imagine, man. I can't imagine. There is a real sort of ticking time bomb with mental health worldwide. It's something that's been ignored for hundreds of years, man, let's be honest. You're quite happy to put a plaster over a physical cut on your knee, but everyone ignores the sort of mental aspects of life, and mental is every bit as important as physical. To be a human being, mental side has to be in tune with the gut, has to be in tune with the physical. Everything has to sing from the same hymn sheet to be at your absolute best. So I never have understood the sort of stigma surrounding mental health. In this concept, you have to maybe tart it up a bit by saying it's you're singing and you're dancing when you're in a dark place. Look, just come out and say it as it is, man. It is fucking dark. It is bad. It ain't good. We've all had it. We've all experienced some crazy shit. I've had dark moments as well, and I try to be a very upbeat, happy person. And I ain't dancing, I tell you, because I can't dance. I just walk my dog, and that's why having a dog is better than a cat. I love cats. I've got 2 down the stair, but dogs are better. They're better animals. I don't know why I'm pointing. I'm doing Harrison Ford. But look, John Wick. Next topic. John Wick. Looks like we're getting many more John Wick movies I've put in there. That's shit English, incidentally. Really poor from me. I just rushed that out. And then didn't even try to put thought to it. But basically, Chad Stahelski's been out speaking, the director. And he's been talking about him and Keanu Reeves, the leading man of the John Wick franchise, and how they have every intention of carrying the franchise on to John Wick 5 and beyond. We've not even got 4 out yet, and he's speaking about 5 and beyond. But not just him, and not just Keanu, the studio are actively interested as well. When I read this topic, when I read the article, and I read the whole ideology surrounding it, it immediately brought up in my mind The Continental, the TV show we were supposed to be getting, with your man with the slight, Ian McShane, the guy with the slight slurred speech. Brilliant actor. Everyone's a brilliant actor tonight. I'm turning into Donald Trump. He's brilliant, fantastic, tremendous. But they are. I don't speak about shit actors. I don't waste my time on them. I like to hear Stephen Dorff and stuff like that. I don't even know where I was going with that. Yeah, The Continental. It was such an interesting concept to me, going further down into the mythology of this criminal underworld, this wacky neutral venue where these guys are actively trying to cut each other's throats out, and then they can sit down and have a little meal and it's all forgot about. It's almost like the Christmas truce in World War One, where the Germans played football with the Allies. I say the Germans, there was Hungarians and Austrians involved in that as well. Do a little bit of history telling here as well while I'm at it, why not? But yeah, man, don't know what's happening with that TV show. I just thought we were getting a spin-off universe in general. We were going to diverge away from Wick a little bit and take this off in a different direction, because that offers you so much more longevity with the world if you're not bogged down to the one character. Because eventually there's only so much you can do with John, and he has to maybe bite the bullet or just retire peacefully. Then if you've got other irons in the fire, you can continue this universe on, maybe select someone else to be a lead in a new set of movies. But that's not what they're doing, and as you can see, he was speaking with Collider about the franchise's future. This is what he had to say. As of right now, it is the studio's full intention to continue the franchise. And look, I'm not going to... we've all seen directors and producers where they go, yes, I don't know, I guess I'll do 5, or it's like, oh yeah, and I'm just... Look, man, John Wick 1 was a goof. We made it as a fun little action movie that we'd like to see, and look, they're the best action movies. They are the best ones. I think of... God, what's it called now? One I watched on YouTube. It was made for like $50,000, if that. made in the one room. It was fucking great. It was a little goofy homage to all the 80s Stallone and Arnie goodness. God, Kung Fury. They're the best ones. When it's not really took serious. You just kind of put it out as something you'd like to watch, and then it just fucking explodes. They are the best kind of movies. And for me, John Wick 1 is still the best one. It's simplicity. A guy avenging his dog and his wife. What more can you want? With violence. Brilliant. And the fact that now, 9 years later, it's changed our lives. It changed my life. It changed Keanu's life. It changed Keanu's life. Chad, come on. Keanu was a fully fledged fucking Hollywood A-list actor. Like 25 years before John Wick, mate. I grew up with this guy being in my life. This guy was in Speed when I was like 5 years old. And then he done Matrix. It didn't change Keanu's life. It maybe gave him a renaissance, if you like. But it didn't change his life, man. Keanu's been living his life the way he wants to live it for years and years and years now. He's the most chill, easy, easy guy going, man. Changed a lot of other people's lives anyway, and people want to see more. So, look, man, I do want to see more, to be fair. I love John Wick. I love the franchise. I love the violence. You start the third movie, he's taking out an NBA superstar who's playing a giant assassin with a book in a library. And right off the bat, you know it's going to be a good fucking movie. You then get the dogs in there. The scene in, I think it's Casablanca or something. The dogs are wrecking bodies left, right and centre. There's just something about it. It's carefree. It has added complexity with the underworld and the criminal stuff and all these assassins and all these rules and shit like that, but it's still got that simplicity at heart. A good revenge sort of assassin movie with Keanu just training like a madman and giving us the slickest action you'll see in Hollywood. Just taking fucking heads off all over the place. You add in that you get Donnie Yen in this next one, man, and Donnie is just a god amongst men. A god amongst men. And you know it's going to work. You know it is. Keanu was talking about this happening 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, how they were just going to continue until they weren't allowed to anymore. And no one's not going to allow them not to continue. Well, I can't imagine a John Wick without Keanu. It's similar to how Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. It's just perfect. You're right, man. Yeah. When I say a new character, I don't mean John Wick getting recast. I mean just maybe introducing an interesting figure in one of these spin-offs, one of these sequels. And then if Keanu decides, look, I'm done, you can move on with that character and do something different with that character, continue it through a new character. That's the beauty. If you can get spin-off TV shows right, that's what it allows you to do. It enables you to go off and do more storytelling with someone else. Again, we were speaking about 1917 not that long ago. There was so many brilliant cameos in that movie. Big names as well. Benedict Cumberbatch, Colin Firth was in there, Richard Madden was in there. So many brilliant. The Irish guy was in there, I always forget his name. You could have done spin-off movies, 2 hour movies with those guys and their lives. So that's what can happen when you do it right. Sadly, we're not going to get that though, but you could. Damn, it's been 9 years since John Wick. I think I'm getting old, Pav. Fuck. I don't think about age, mate. Speaking about mental health, it's good for my mental health not to speak about age. I'm just trying to cling on to my relative youthful looks as long as I can. I think I'm doing a not bad job, to be fair. Not many lines in the face. I'm clinging on. And this North Hemisphere sun is not kind to the skin. We get absolutely destroyed up here. So you really got to work hard. I'm just trying to cling on. But 33, man. I am 30 fucking free. And I feel it at times. Believe me. 9 years, I know. I still can't believe, man. I listen to songs at times from 2014 and I'm like, that's fucking, yeah, it was like 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And it's fucking 8 years ago, man. It's terrifying how the time flies. So we don't think about that. But yeah, John Wick, man, to be fair, it feels like 9 years. That's when it does feel like 9 years to me. Because he's been around forever now. He's part of pop culture. It's strange to me that he's almost more synonymous now with John Wick than he is with Neo. Because I grew up with the Matrix movies. And they were fucking years ago now, man. 23 years ago. Crazy. We're not doing James Cameron Gets Candid on Avatar at 2 at the box office. That was from what, fucking 2 months ago. We're going to end in this little one here. I didn't give it a topic of its own because there's not enough to speak about, but I found it interesting nonetheless. We've got an I Am Groot TV show coming out. We reacted to it. It looked funny as hell. It looked perfect, multi-generational little short story with a really cool character. James has gave us some brilliant moments in the theatres. He's gave us some brilliant characters over the last 8 years, speaking of 2014. And they've all got their own personalities, like Rocket, Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax, fucking Mantis. But this little guy here, man, Groot, really stole the hearts of hundreds of thousands of people. His sacrifice at the end of Guardians 1. And the way he has really just blossomed into a brilliant character. Obviously can't speak English though. Can't speak any real discernible dialogue. But a really lovable character. So you can imagine how happy I am to see him getting a little spin-off TV show, getting some recognition. And then you get into what James is about to drop here in terms of scripts and how they are writing different scripts for different actors based on their intimacy with Groot. And you'll see why I simply had to speak about this. I turned 23 on the 29th of last month. Path, get the fuck out of my chat, man. Get out of my fucking chat. I fucking yearn for 23, man. I can't tell you. I missed 23. I remember. It was like 2012. I was 23. They were good fucking days, man. They were. Cherish your 20s. That's what I'd say. Cherish them. Because you'll soon be like 30, 31, 32. And there will inevitably be a moment where you are just like, fuck, what happened? I blinked and I was mid-20s. Now I'm some raggedy ass, more wrinklier old fuck. What happened? And look, I don't want to speak too harshly because there's people who are older than me out there. So I don't want to depress them even more, but man, cherish every fucking moment of your 20s. That's what I suggest. They are the best days of one's life. But you've just depressed me, mate. Drop that in the comments here. I work with guys that are like 23, man. And fucking, I don't look any different to them, so fuck them. They're doing worse than me. That North Hemisphere sun is really fucking them. But look, I digress, man. Here is the quote from, I believe, James. And he had this to say. James has been speaking at length on social media. Recently, he's been speaking about a multitude of topics. I clicked on every fucking article that he spoke about, and they're all short quotes. Every single one is under 50 characters, or under 50 words I should say, because that's definitely more than 50 characters. So he's really succinct in his thoughts just now, James, and this is no different. This is what he had to say. In the scripts for crew and cast that don't understand Groot, it says, I am Groot. I am Groot. But I also have scripts available for those who understand Groot with the translations in them. I just love that. I think that's great, man. Because the likes of Chris Pratt, I think he can understand Groot. Rocket can understand Groot. So you have different characters within the Guardians who are able to understand Groot's, obviously, his language. The fact that they are able to discern, the actual actors I'm speaking about, what's been said to them because he's putting it in the script. And in my mind's eye, I want to think they're not allowed to share with the actors who don't understand Groot. So it's like a sort of thing that actually is physically present on the set. Some don't know what Groot's saying, others do know what Groot's saying. Obviously it doesn't work like that. I presume fucking, what is it, Bradley... Why am I blanking his name? That's fucking terrible, man. Bradley Cooper. I think it's Bradley. Is it Bradley Cooper? Is it Vin Diesel? Oh, I don't know who plays Groot now. Jesus Christ, I've lost my mind. Whoever it is anyway, he's probably on the set and he's probably saying the words, so that doesn't work. But in my mind's eye, I thought, wouldn't that be brilliant on the set, man? You've got these actors playing characters who do understand Groot. They know what's been said, the other ones don't. I just thought that was an interesting concept. But look, it all lends to authenticity. The authenticity of the character and the story. And it's really, look, again, it just shows you the level of detail that James Gunn is bringing to these movies. He has put his life's work, blood, soul, tears, sweat, everything into these movies, into these characters. And you can understand why he's so passionate, why he was getting emotional at Comic-Con, why it was rubbing off in the cast. They were getting emotional and breaking down watching the little sizzle reel thing, teaser they showed there that no one else got to see. Because it means something to him, it means something to the cast. I just cannot wait to see Guardians 3, man. I've been to see both of them in the theatres. I had an absolute ball with the first one. It was one of my all-time favourite theatre experiences with Marvel. Just in general, I've not laughed that much ever in a theatre. Absolute fucking ball that James Gunn gave me watching that movie. So I'm hoping that it's going to be very, very good. I'm hoping not a lot of them die, but I think some are going to die, and I'm there for it, man. I'll bring the hankies. He's gave me the tears, now it's time to cry. He's gave me the tears, now it's time to cry. He's gave me the laughs, now it's time to cry, is what I meant to say. And on that note, that is the sign that I am about to crash off a fucking cliff. When I'm saying he's brought me the tears, now it's time to cry. And that is maybe just me getting off the bus at the right time. I'm going to round the show up. What's your thoughts on the topics I touched upon? What should the people who understand Groot be called? Grooters? Oh, I don't know, man. Hashheads. I presume he's a plant, isn't he? So I presume they're just all a bunch of fucking hippies. They're just smoking the hash, the marijuana. They're on the transcendental medicine. They're on the wacky backy. That's why they can understand Groot. It's all an illusion. Groot doesn't even speak. They're all on wacky backy. That's why you've got James. That's why you've got Cosmo appearing in the next movie. James Cosmo. I was about to say there. Fucking hell. James Cosmo, the cosmic dog. I'm losing my mind here. It's time to end. That's why I've got Cosmo though. Again, it's a talking dog from the USSR. It looks like my dog, incidentally. Scarily like my dog. My dog could play Cosmo. So I'm looking forward to that. But it just affirms to me that I think they're all hallucinating. It's like a mass hallucination event. They're all tripping balls, man. That's got to round it up though. On that note, wacky backy, we'll end it on that. What's your thoughts on Prey being the highest rated Predator movie on Rotten Tomatoes in terms of critics? In terms of audience scores, it's still the original by 6 points. You can comment down below if you've got anything to say about Predator, about Prey, if I can stop speaking without burping. About its release, are you from the United States of America? Are you disappointed it's not in a theatre? Are you from anywhere in the world? Because it's not releasing in a theatre anywhere. Should that movie have had a theatrical run? I certainly think it should have. I was about to say funk. I am really losing my mind now. It's going. I think I was on something. I think maybe someone slipped speed in my drink, and now it's starting to wear off. The speech is going. What's your thoughts on what else to speak about? Bullet Train opening up to $60+ million worldwide, $30+ million in the United States. Thoughts on that movie? Have you seen it? Is it any good? I'm going to go and watch it this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. Joker 2, Zazie Beetz want to star in it, defends its potential musical genre. Do you think Joker can work in the confines of a musical? Do you think that Joaquin Phoenix can sing and dance? Can he learn to sing and dance? What's your thoughts on it? You can comment down below. What is your thoughts, finally, on whatever else I spoke about? What did I speak about? What else did I speak about in the show? Let's have a look. That's right, John Wick 4. More John Wicks to come. Do you want to see it? Are you excited for it? And James Gunn adding little details into those scripts for Guardians. Those who understand Groot get to know in the script. Those who do not still can't understand Groot within the script. Share your thoughts down below about that. Anything you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs on YouTube. Follow button, notifications button on Twitch for all the same reasons over there to watch the exact same content you're seeing here on Twitch. It doesn't make sense to me why we do it, but we do it. And we get people watching us on Twitch, so we're going to continue doing it in the hopes that we can break into another platform. I know in my heart of hearts it's not going to happen because it's a clique-ville Twitch. You need to know people. And I do know people on Twitch, but I just don't tell them about this. So, it's not going to happen. I'll wait until I read this comment, until I say until the next time. I've just says it, but I'll say it again. Sin's Corner, yeah, that highest rating thing is a joke to me. I said the same thing, man. I think there's something more at work when it comes to the official critics' viewpoint on it. I also think you should have gone to the big screen. Yeah, I was thinking that myself, man. It is... I'm the most libertarian left-wing motherfucker you're going to meet. I'm not tribalistic with it. I'm not one of these psychopaths on social media that attacks everyone else. I'll sit down and have dialogue and listen to anybody, depending on how extreme they are. If they're too extreme, if they're like some neo-Nazi, I will not listen to them. Those bitches can be consigned to the fiery depths of hell. But if you're like slightly right at the political spectrum, I will certainly sit down and have a conversation with someone and we'll get the views. I'm not one of those headbangers, as we like to say. But I see what you mean, man. There's like, if it's female led, it's kind of, I think a potential Hispanic actress. I don't actually know who the fuck's playing the character in it. I don't know the actress. I don't know anything about her. More liberal minded, the critics, they're kind of like me. So they will heap praise on it for maybe other reasons. Maybe not all about the actual creative brilliance of the movie itself. So I see what you're saying there. I tend to agree. And the highest rated thing is a fucking joke to me as well. Because to be quite frank, the rest of the Predator movies, bar the first one, are shit. They are fucking rubbish, god awful movies. So it's not, it's like, as I said earlier, the best dressed man in Kazakhstan. You're damning it with faint praise, man. It could be really good, but it could be just better than like Alien versus Predators, if that's even what it's called. Which ain't very good. And because of the agenda, they're rating it higher than the 87 one. Someone on my channel said critics nowadays feel more social responsibility to deify some perfectly fine films, but not necessarily cinematic masterpieces. Yeah, man, it's absolutely there. It's something that's locked into society now, sadly. There's agendas, sadly. Absolute agenda. Ridden shit going on all over the place, man. Politics, movie critiquing, the full shebang, man. It's rampant. So that's why I always say take it with a pinch of salt. I had to speak about something though, man, and I thought, fuck it, I want to speak about Prey, so I'm going to touch on that. Rewatched the first one last night. It's still excellent. It's the best, man. I says that I still think it's the best first Predator. I've not seen Prey yet. I'm going to watch it. But come on, that's our 80s pomp. That's proper action movies. Like, that's when action movies were truly great. And they weren't even like that high a budget. They were just practical. Fucking 20-inch biceps bulging out a shirt. Great. But man, it's going to round it up. Thanks for the life advice. Yeah, just enjoy your 20s, man. Get drunk constantly. Live it to the absolute max. Don't regret anything, man. Because you can't get back, sadly. But look, I'll not speak about age. I'll not speak... Because Sin's older than me. Stephen is in the chat. He's older than me. So I don't want to... I don't want to depress people too much. But let's go round it up, man. Until the next time, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the comments. Appreciate them. Bye-bye. Hope you didn't hear that fan whirring too much, man. It's incredibly fucking warm in this room. Incredible. R.I.P. Raoul Moat. Who is that Raoul Moat? You've left that right at the end. That's a bit of a fucking grenade you've thrown in there. Well, you're Raoul Moat. But you're alive because you're Titan. Raoul. This is Twitch, incidentally, so people... Oh, Josh Taylor does Twitch. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, bye-bye. I translated that again. Thank you very much. You're welcome back anytime. Anytime, man. Bye-bye.